All right, well, we're out here in this beautiful weather, as maybe you can't see, but it is raining, and yeah, it's gonna be interesting conditions. But today we're at Wildcat Creek MX, I think, yeah, something like that. We're here today, and we're gonna go ride. We went out actually yesterday for practice, laid down some good laps. Today we turned up the heat. We went out for 250C and 450C. Feeling pretty good. We're gonna go out there and just kind of have fun with it. Try to stay out of our own head and just, you know how it is. So if you race moto, it's its own thing. So we're excited. No matter what the conditions, it's gonna even the playing field for everybody, and we're just gonna go out there and have fun. I'm gonna throw you guys on the GoPro. You know, I gotta get the shot for you guys because it's only right. I appreciate you guys watching. Enjoy this video. I don't know how it's gonna go, so regardless, we're here to learn, and that's the main thing. So yeah, Pap's my mechanic, cameraman, you know that. Today we're gonna go out, bike's working well. We're just gonna adapt. So that's the main goal. The main goal today is to adapt and just find where we can speed up in any way. So the goal is to place top 9 so we can qualify for regionals. There is 30 people in C Limited, which is one of the classes I'm running, and 25 in C Junior. So we're gonna see how it goes, and yeah, so I'm gonna throw the GoPro on. Hopefully the next clip you see is GoPro footage. Hopefully it works. Sometimes it doesn't, but hopefully it works. So I'll see you guys on my chest. All right, so we're done with the race. We got the whole weekend over with. Saturday wasn't bad. You only got to see the first moto of GoPro because I really just needed to focus and not run anything, not have any distractions. So I took the GoPro off and just set it aside. I would say, so you're probably wondering, well, did you qualify? No, I did not. But I want to talk about something, and it's going to be hard for some people that don't race to understand, or maybe people that do race to understand. But today, well, I guess yesterday, I learned a lot, and I think I would prefer the outcome of yesterday over just qualifying, if that makes sense. I learned a lot about me, and I learned a lot that racing at that high of a level and that fast and that speed, my mental game seems to go. And it's just what I figured out. Basically, what that means is, first moto came around. I didn't really realize it, but I was comfortable where I was at, and I wasn't really pushing it. So nobody was really pushing me either, which is it's not anybody's fault. But I do think that I need to be pushed, and I do think that whether that's people that are hanging out with me tell me, you got to do this better, you got to do that better, or anything, which is hard because you don't want them to. They don't want to push you because they don't want you to get hurt, and that's of course that's totally fine. I totally get it, which I totally understand. But I came back, and that first moto you'll see on GoPro, absolutely wadded it up in the start. There's nothing I could have done there. Basically, I was doing fine, and then I was checking up to kind of squeeze on the inside, and there was no more room on the inside for anyone to come in. But apparently, there was a guy on a gas, I think, and he was coming in hot, and he absolutely cleaned me out. So it is what it is. We got back up. So that was a rough start to the day. First start, I was feeling pretty good, but that just kind of set the tone off on the wrong foot that day. But it's pretty frustrated by it. I didn't get that on video because you guys probably don't want to see that. We moved on from it. Then we moved on to Moto 2, which I had last gate pick. It was a randomized gate pick. It wasn't based off of anything. And it really sucked, but we did what we made do with what we had. In that first moto, we ran like P23, 23rd, somewhere around there. Super back of the pack. And a lot of it was just because of the start. But a lot of it was mental game, and here's what's going to make more sense. So what happened, I think, is that I see all these guys that are here. I see all these guys that have the nicer stuff, all the nicer this, nicer that, the everything, and I start comparing, and I get all in my head, and everything just goes. All the stuff that I've learned, everything's just gone, and I just go out there and ride. And, I'm having fun, which that's the main goal, but I'm not really learning anything, and I'm not really pushing my limits, because that's what we're there for. It's a race. It's the reward of all the training we put in, all of that. We're going to go and we're going to push our limits, And I think, this is just real, but I think part of the issue is that I was worried about either the bike blowing up, and I didn't really want to rev it out as much. So I was riding in a taller gear, and that was kind of hurting me a little bit because I was having to shift more, and it was kind of slowing me down, of course, and that. But I was saying I was riding in a taller gear, and I was worried to rev it out and blow it up, and I just got to put that out of my head. I just can't worry about the bike blowing up. It's nothing I can control, so I'm going to rev it to the absolute moon because that's how it's supposed to be ridden, especially this baby. It's a 250, so she's supposed to be ridden pretty hard. But with that being aside, it was also a worry about, wrecking. The last race environment I've been in, I had a wreck, and it wasn't really in my head that I was worried about wrecking, but it's always in the back of everybody's head. But it was consuming me a little more than it needed to be. And I really just have to say, if I fall on the ground, I fall on the ground. It's whatever. I'm not going to be riding over my head. I'm not going to go out there and look like an absolute idiot. That's not what I was going out there to do, but I need to go out there and I need to push myself, and I need to find that speed where everybody else has it and where everybody else doesn't care about when the start goes and the other guys are in front of them. They don't just back off. They keep going. So I knew that going into Moto 2. I knew I needed to have that. So Pap told me, he's like, dude, I need you to do something for me. You have nothing to lose. You have nothing to, there's nothing, you're not running top nine, so there's nothing to lose. Go out there, and I want you to ride it in a taller gear. So I did. Normally the whole track was second, third gear. I was getting in fourth gear in a couple places, which I shouldn't have been. So what I did is I left it in third gear, basically the whole track except some of the tight inside corners, and absolutely just let her eat, And I let her eat, and I just held it wide open, rev limiter in the air. That just kind of set that tone. If you ever rode, it really helps. But yeah, so I went out there and I did that C limited, and that would be C limited Moto 2. So that felt pretty good. I didn't run GoPro in that. All the GoPro footage is from Moto 1. It probably looks really slow, but that's that aside. Um, but yeah, so I went out there and I did that, and I came back in. I was like, all right, this last moto, which is C Junior, we're going to go out there and we're going to haul. I don't care. I'm going to leave everything I have out there on that track and nothing left. I did. I went out there, and a lot of people said, dude, you backed off on the start so much. If you kept going, you would have just had a way better start. So that's what I did. I went out there, and I was closer to far outside, and so I got a good jump. My stars have always been pretty good. I got a good jump, held it wide open, hanging off the back all the way to the corner, and just kept going. Everybody else slowed down because they saw me coming around the corner. That's another instance. If I fall, I fall. It's whatever. You know, I've already fell once today, so who cares, you know? And so that's what I did. And I came out in the start at 10th. There was 25 guys on the gate, and I was running 10th the first lap. Some of the guys that got stuck in the back that were more up front got around me. I think I finished overall in that moto 14th. So going 27, 24th, 23rd, or 22nd, and then 14th at the end of the day. I mean, I negatively split every single placement in all those motos. If that tells you anything, I learned something throughout the whole day. So I think I kind of hit a little bit of a plateau. Now that I know what I'm capable of, I've kind of doubted my ability on what I can do and what this bike can do for me. And I know it can do it. And it seemed that the more I revved it out and the more just I hit all the big stuff, you know, hitting everything wide open, it felt really good and it felt like me. It really did. And it sucks to say because I hate it because if I had that earlier in the day, I probably would have not done too bad placement wise, but that's not exactly what it's about. We learned a very valuable lesson, and that's hold it wide open. Everywhere you can, just turn that throttle and ride in the lower gear. The bike will be fine. It's got a fresh top end. I keep it maintained. The oil's fine. Everything's good. I don't need to worry about the bike. I've controlled everything I can on it, so let's go out there and have fun. And really, it felt like me. And a lot of people said, dude, you put on a heck of a ride that last moto. And I was like, well, thank you. You know, felt pretty good. You know, we're kind of whipping a little bit and felt pretty flowy, but I know I had high hopes for qualifying, and you know I kind of went in a little optimistic but confident at the same time. But it is what it is. We're gonna go and we're going to go back to the drawing board and keep training. The fitness is fine. I by far lining up on that gate, I just say it confidently, was the strongest guy there physically, but mentally it was definitely lacking, and I think it is crucial that we admit that, you know. But overall, I really just thank everybody that's helped me. You know, James Dennis, who was there, he was very, very nice and helping me out and all that stuff. He was super sick. Pap, he was there, you know, cheering me on and all that stuff. And it was super sick. It's just such a great environment. I really wouldn't trade it for the world. You know, there's sometimes like, what if I just took a break and sold it all, you know, but I can't do that. It's not what it's about. It's about times exactly like yesterday where I learned a very valuable lesson that will get me to another level. And I think if I went back and raced that next week, I think I would do a whole lot better. But I think having self-reflections like this, especially with you guys, so you guys can kind of learn from what I have, you know, learned, that would be awesome. But I like documenting this journey on YouTube, and, you know, I saw some viewers there. It's pretty sick seeing some people to watch the channel. So if you were there, drop a comment and say, yo, I didn't know you were there or whatever, you know the deal. But I try to just keep it real with you guys. I try to be myself because I never want anybody to think, well, he's just a fake guy that goes out there and rides. And you guys know I'm not a cocky guy that goes out there and rides. I'm pretty humble. I'm confident most of the time, but I'm pretty humble. But I do think here on out and the next races that I do, I just need to have a better mental game and really trust my ability. I am more capable than I really do think I am. And a lot of people say that through various sports, but I really do believe I could do pretty good in all of this, and I just needed to figure some things out, and what I figured out was pretty huge. So it's kind of emotional thinking about it. It's more than just what you place. It's more than just what your lap time is, and I did lay one of my fastest lap times down, which is a 2:10, and I was only 10 seconds off of first that last moto, so it felt pretty good. I wish you guys could have got GoPro on that because it was just limiter in the air. It sounded so good. And honestly, I just started this baby up a little bit ago when I just got done cleaning it up, and it runs so much better. Like when it runs, idles just a little bit higher, but it idles like cleaner, if that makes sense. But yeah, I'm super excited just to get back out there and ride again. Like I just saw Jeff Walker's clip on Instagram. I'm like, dude, I already want to ride again. Like it just that feeling of like, man, I really did learn something and let's go like apply this everywhere. So I really just needed to go faster and I really needed to trust my ability. So if you get anything out of this video, believe in yourself and believe in what you can do and go out there and anything you do, hold it wide open. If that makes sense. But yeah, I appreciate everybody that's helped me. Honestly, couldn't be here without them. You know, this is just the beginning of this journey. There's definitely a lot of highs and lows, and that was definitely yesterday. There was a lot of highs and there was a lot of lows. Probably a lot more lows than there was highs, but that's all right. We're here to learn, and that's what we did. We went out there and we learned. That's it for this video. If you like this, head down, give it a like, give it a comment. You know the deal. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. I'm not here to get all the viewers. I'm not here to get all that. I'm here to just kind of show you guys the real side of me. And if you enjoy it, awesome. So with that being said, I'm going to sign off and I'm going to let you go get back to your day, but hope you took something away from this if you made it this far. And yeah, I'm super sick to see what the riding footage and all the videos here to come. So if you have any recommendations of videos you want to see, drop them down in the comments below. But with that being said, I'm out, guys. See ya. I really do love this sport, man.